Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. This time, we're taking a deep dive into Nick Bostrom's lectures on Deep Utopia, Life and Meaning in a Solved World.
Ooh, interesting.
We're going to explore how Bostrom sees the potential challenges
Right.
and the amazing opportunities for meaning and purpose in a world where technology has solved many of the problems we struggle with today.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to unpack these ideas with you and see where this deep dive takes us.
It's a fascinating area to explore, especially now
Yeah.
when we're seeing such. Bostrom uses a really relatable example from his own life, talking about feeling redundant even in school.
Okay.
Like the education system was preparing him for a world that might not even exist by the time he graduated.
Oh, I can totally relate to that feeling. Like, are we learning the right things? Are we
Yeah.
preparing for the right future? And this leads Bostrom to paint a picture of a post-work, post-scarcity world,
Okay.
a utopia where technology has essentially eliminated scarcity
Right.
and the need for traditional work.
On the surface, it sounds pretty appealing, right?
Yeah.
No more drudgery, no more struggling to make ends meet.
Right.
But Bostrom pushes us to think deeper, to consider what we would actually do with all that free time.
Yeah.
How would we find meaning and purpose without the structures that have traditionally defined our lives?
Well, it's like a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We strive for this utopia where all our needs are met, but then we're left with this potentially bigger question of, well, now what?
Exactly. He compares this future to living in a sort of five-star life service where everything is done for you.
Uh-huh.
You have every comfort imaginable.
Right.
But you might also end up feeling a profound sense of emptiness and lack of purpose.
It's like being on a never-ending vacation.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it sounds amazing, but after a while,
Yeah.
you might start to crave something more,
Yeah.
something to strive for,
Right.
something to make you feel, well, needed.
Right. You hit on something important there.
Right.
Bostrom argues that work, despite often being seen as a burden,
Yeah.
actually provides us with a sense of purpose, a feeling of contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So in this solved world, how do we replicate those feelings?
Right.
How do we avoid becoming passive consumers of endless leisure?
And this is where things start to get really interesting.
Okay.
Bostrom introduces the idea of the experience machine,
Okay.
a thought experiment that was originally posed by philosopher Robert Nozick.
Right.
Imagine a machine that could give you any experience you desire,
Uh-huh.
perfectly simulated.
Yeah.
Would you choose to plug in?
It's a question that forces us to confront what we truly value.
Right.
Is it simply the feeling of pleasure or happiness?
No.
Or is there something more, something about engaging with the real world, with its challenges and uncertainties,
Mm-hmm.
that we find intrinsically meaningful?
Bostrom seems to suggest that a life plugged into the experience machine,
Yeah.
while perhaps pleasurable, might ultimately lack depth and meaning.
Okay.
It's a bit like choosing to live in a fantasy world
Right.
rather than facing the complexities and richness of reality.
And it's through this exploration of the experience machine that Bostrom introduces a key concept: interestingness.
Okay.
He argues that a truly fulfilling life, even in a utopia, needs to be interesting.
Okay, so what exactly does he mean by interesting? Is it just about having lots of exciting experiences?
It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Bostrom defines interestingness as a life filled with novelty,
Mhm.
diversity, and opportunities for learning and growth. It's about constantly pushing our boundaries, expanding our horizons,
Mm.
and engaging with the world in a way that keeps us intellectually and emotionally stimulated.
I like how he uses the analogy of Eliezer Yudkowsky,
Okay.
the AI researcher, who said he'd be willing to carve one table leg, but not thousands.
Right?
Even a seemingly simple task can be meaningful if it's novel and engaging,
Yeah.
but doing the same thing over and over again, even if it's enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
eventually leads to boredom and stagnation.
It highlights the human need for variety, for
Yeah.
challenge, for the feeling of progress and growth.
For sure.
But then Bostrom takes us even further down this rabbit hole with the big world hypothesis.
Ooh, tell me about that one.
Yeah.
That's the idea that in a vast universe,
Yeah,
every possible human experience already exists somewhere, right?
exactly.
Well,
It's a mind-bending concept that challenges our notions of originality and the uniqueness of our individual lives.
yeah.
If every possible experience already exists somewhere out there, does that diminish the meaning we find in our own lives?
It definitely makes you think about the scale of things
Yeah.
and our place within it all.
Right.
But it also begs the question, if we're not the only ones experiencing these things,
Mm-hmm.
How do we find meaning and purpose in a universe that might be teeming with countless other beings having similar experiences?
And that's where Bostrom introduces his 5 rings of defense against this potential purpose problem in a technologically mature society.
Okay.
It's like a toolkit for maintaining meaning and purpose, even as technology reshapes our world.
Okay, so let's dive into these rings.
Yeah.
What's the first line of defense?
The first ring is the idea of artificial purpose,
Okay.
which is about creating our own challenges and goals, even if they're not strictly necessary for survival or well-being.
So even in a world where technology has solved many of our problems,
Yeah.
we might still need to create our own sense of purpose.
Exactly. Think
Yeah.
of it like playing a game.
Okay.
The stakes might not be real in the grand scheme of
Well,
things.
But they matter within the context of the game.
Yeah.
We create our own challenges and goals, and the process of striving towards them gives us a sense of meaning and accomplishment.
It's like we're hardwired to seek out challenges and overcome obstacles,
Yeah.
even if we have to invent them ourselves.
Exactly.
So in this future world, we might find meaning in creating art, building communities, exploring new ideas, or even just setting personal goals and working towards them.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of our own lives and finding meaning in the process of creation, exploration, and growth,
Okay.
even in a world where traditional work may no longer be necessary.
So the first ring of defense is about recognizing that even in a utopia,
Right.
we might still need to actively create meaning and purpose for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
What about the second ring?
Okay.
What other strategies does Bostrom offer?
Well, the second ring focuses on something he calls natural purpose.
Okay.
It's about finding meaning in activities that are inherently fulfilling.
Even in a world of abundance and leisure.
Okay, give me some examples of what natural purpose might look like in this future world.
Think of activities that tap into our core human needs and desires.
Okay.
Things like creative expression, exploring our natural world,
Right.
fostering deep connections with others,
Yeah.
and engaging in activities that challenge us intellectually and emotionally.
So it's not just about creating our own purpose.
Right.
It's also about recognizing and embracing the things that already give us a sense of meaning and fulfillment.
Exactly.
And I imagine this second ring might become even more important in a world
Yeah.
where we have more freedom to pursue these kinds of activities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As technology frees us from the necessity of traditional work,
Right.
we'll have more time and energy to dedicate to pursuits that align with our natural inclinations and passions.
This all makes me think about the potential for personal growth and self-discovery in this kind of future. If we're not bound by the constraints of work and survival,
Yeah.
we might be able to explore our potential in ways that are currently unimaginable.
It's a really exciting possibility, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And it leads nicely into the third ring of defense,
Okay.
which is all about finding meaning in service to others.
Okay, so even in a world of abundance, we might still find purpose in helping others.
Exactly. Think about it. Even if technology solves material scarcity, there will always be opportunities to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
Right?
We could dedicate our time to caring for others, building stronger communities,
Yeah.
or working towards a more just and equitable world.
It speaks to that fundamental human desire
Yeah.
to connect with others and make a positive impact on the world, even in a technologically advanced utopia.
Right.
Those core human values will likely remain incredibly important.
Absolutely.
So we've got creating artificial purpose,
Yeah.
pursuing natural purpose, and finding meaning in service to others.
Right.
What are the last 2 rings of defense?
Well, the fourth ring focuses on the pursuit of knowledge and understanding.
Okay.
Bostrom suggests that even at technological maturity, there will always be more to learn and discover about ourselves and the universe we inhabit.
That's definitely a comforting thought.
Yeah.
In a world where technology might be able to answer so many of our questions,
Right.
there's still that inherent drive to explore, to discover,
Yeah.
to push the boundaries of knowledge,
It's a pursuit that can provide a deep and lasting sense of meaning.
for sure.
Imagine being able to dedicate your life to unlocking the mysteries of the cosmos, understanding the complexities of consciousness,
Right.
or exploring the vastness of human history.
It's like that sense of wonder and curiosity never really goes away, does it?
It
No
doesn't.
matter how much we learn,
Yeah.
there will always be new questions to ask, new frontiers to explore.
Exactly.
Wow.
And finally, the fifth and perhaps most intriguing ring of defense
Yeah.
is the possibility of discovering meaning from an external source, something beyond our current understanding.
Okay, now we're getting into some really fascinating territory.
Yeah, right.
What kind of external source are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Are we venturing into the realm of spirituality or something even more profound?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Bostrom doesn't offer specific answers,
Mm-hmm.
but he leaves open the possibility that the meaning of life might not be something we create or discover on our own,
Right.
but rather something that's inherent in the very fabric of reality.
Okay.
Something that might be revealed to us as we evolve and expand our consciousness.
Wow, that's a powerful thought.
It is.
It suggests that even in a world where technology has advanced to unimaginable levels,
Yeah.
there might still be mysteries to uncover,
Mhm.
truths to be revealed, and a deeper understanding of our existence to be attained.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got 5 potential lines of defense against the purpose problem.
Right.
Creating artificial purpose,
Yeah.
pursuing natural purpose, finding meaning in service to others, pursuing knowledge and understanding,
Yeah.
and the possibility of discovering meaning from an external source.
Exactly.
That's a pretty comprehensive toolkit for navigating a future that might seem daunting at first glance.
It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit
Yeah,
and our capacity for finding meaning even in the face of radical change and uncertainty.
for sure.
But I think it's important to point out that Bostrom doesn't simply present these rings as a checklist to tick off.
Right.
He also acknowledges the complexities and challenges inherent in each one.
Right. It's not as simple as just saying,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to create some artificial purpose and now I'm good to go.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot more nuance and depth to these ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to explore them further.
Mm-hmm.
What other thought-provoking concepts does Bostrom delve into in his lectures?
One of the most thought-provoking aspects of Bostrom's exploration is the ethical dimension of meaning.
Right.
He points out that having a meaningful life
Mm-hmm.
isn't automatically the same as living a good life.
That's a really important distinction.
Yeah.
Just because something feels meaningful or purposeful
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean it's ethically sound, right?
Exactly. He uses a powerful example to illustrate this point.
Oh.
Hitler.
Oh, wow.
You could argue that Hitler's life was full of purpose.
Yeah.
He had grand ambitions.
Right.
And he certainly made a massive impact on the world.
Definitely.
But the direction of that impact was horrifyingly destructive.
It's a stark reminder that we need to be mindful not only of finding meaning,
Yeah.
but of the kind of meaning we create.
Exactly.
It's not enough to just feel busy or driven.
Right.
We need to ensure that our pursuits align with our values and contribute to something positive in the world.
It's about recognizing that meaning and morality aren't always intertwined.
Okay.
We can't assume that just because something feels meaningful to us,
Yeah.
it's automatically good or beneficial. We need to have a framework for evaluating our actions and choices,
Right.
even in a seemingly utopian future.
So it's not just about avoiding the pitfalls of boredom and purposelessness,
Yeah.
but also about steering clear of potentially dangerous or destructive paths,
Right.
even if they feel meaningful to the individual pursuing them.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this leads Bostrom to introduce one of the most captivating concepts in his lectures,
Okay.
meaning as enchantment.
Meaning is enchantment. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more about what he means by that.
Bostrom argues that meaning isn't solely found in achieving goals or living a purely rational life.
Right.
It's also about embracing a sense of wonder, mystery, and connection to something larger than ourselves.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling you get when you gaze up at a star-filled sky, or when you lose yourself in a piece of art that moves you deeply.
Yeah.
There's a sense of awe and wonder that goes beyond simply understanding the technical aspects of what you're experiencing.
Exactly. And Bostrom suggests that this sense of enchantment might become even more critical in a future dominated by technology and rational thinking.
Okay.
He makes this striking statement. More numbers, less myth, and less meaning.
It's almost like he's warning us that as we become more technologically advanced,
Yeah.
we risk losing touch with that deeper sense of wonder and mystery that has always been a source of meaning for humans.
He's cautioning against a future where everything is measured, optimized, and explained,
Right.
where efficiency and productivity become the primary values,
Yeah.
and we lose sight of the beauty, awe, and interconnectedness of the world around us.
So the challenge is to hold on to that sense of enchantment,
Yeah.
even as we embrace technological advancements,
Exactly.
to find meaning not just in what we achieve, but in how we experience the world, in our connection to something greater than ourselves.
And this sense of enchantment ties beautifully into his discussion of the transformative potential of a utopian future.
Okay.
Bostrom envisions a world where humans can continue to grow and evolve,
Right.
expanding their cognitive and emotional capacities.
It's like he's saying utopia isn't a static endpoint,
Yeah,
but rather a starting point for a new chapter in human evolution.
exactly.
Even if technology solves all our current problems,
Yeah.
there's still room for us to evolve and grow as individuals and as a species.
He uses the term super-fulfillment to describe this potential future state
Okay.
where we might unlock capacities and aspirations we can't even fathom right now.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like we're only tapping into a fraction of our potential as humans,
Right.
and a utopian society could provide the conditions for us to flourish in ways we've never dreamed possible.
I love how you use that analogy. Love is not proportional to similarity.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like saying personal growth isn't just about becoming more of who we are now,
Right.
but about embracing the possibility of becoming something entirely new, something that transcends our current understanding of ourselves.
It's a call to embrace the unknown, the infinite possibilities of growth and transformation that lie ahead. Bostrom challenges us to imagine a future self who has grown and evolved beyond our current limitations. A self who might connect with us on a deeper level precisely because of the transformation they've undergone.
So it's not just about creating a better world.
Yeah.
It's about becoming better versions of ourselves within that world.
Right.
And technology, rather than making us redundant, might actually play a crucial role in facilitating this growth and transformation.
It's a perspective that flips the script on our anxieties about technology replacing us.
Yeah.
What if, instead of making us obsolete,
Right.
technology actually empowers us to reach new heights of understanding, creativity, and connection?
It's a much more hopeful and empowering way to view the future.
Yeah.
So we've explored Bostrom's ideas about the redundancy problem, the allure and potential pitfalls of a post-work, post-scarcity utopia,
Right.
the ethical considerations surrounding meaning,
Yeah.
and the transformative potential of meaning as enchantment.
Okay.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
What other fascinating insights does Bostrom offer? It feels like we've been on this incredible journey through Bostrom's mind,
Yeah.
exploring these complex ideas about meaning and purpose in a world that's rapidly changing. I'm curious, as we delve deeper into his lectures,
Yeah.
does Bostrom offer any practical guidance on how we might actually cultivate meaning in this kind of future?
He does, and it circles back beautifully to those 5 rings of defense we discussed earlier.
Right.
Remember, those rings represent different strategies for finding and creating meaning, even in a world where technology has solved many of our current problems.
Right. We talked about creating our own artificial purpose.
Yeah.
Finding natural purpose in inherently fulfilling activities, the importance of service to others,
Right.
the pursuit of knowledge,
Yeah.
and even the possibility of discovering meaning from an external source.
Exactly.
But how do these rings actually play out in our lives?
Yeah.
How can we actively cultivate meaning using these strategies?
Well, let's take the first ring, artificial purpose, as an example.
Okay.
In a future where traditional work might be less central to our lives,
Yeah.
we might need to become more intentional about creating our own challenges and goals.
So instead of relying on our jobs to provide us with a sense of purpose,
Yeah.
we might need to take more initiative in designing our own meaningful projects and pursuits.
Exactly. It could be anything from learning a new skill,
Okay.
starting a creative project, building something with your hands, or even setting a personal challenge like running a marathon or writing a novel.
Right.
The key is to find activities that engage us,
Yeah.
stretch our abilities, and give us a sense of accomplishment.
It's almost like we become the architects of our own meaning
Yeah.
rather than relying on external structures to provide it for us. And I imagine this could be incredibly empowering
It is.
to have the freedom and agency to design a life that truly aligns with our values and interests.
It's a shift in perspective, isn't it? Instead of viewing work as something we have to do,
Right.
we might start to see it as something we choose to do, something we create for ourselves.
And that brings us to the second ring, natural purpose.
Okay.
How can we tap into that in a more intentional way?
It's about becoming more attuned to the activities that already bring us joy and fulfillment.
Okay.
It could be spending time in nature, nurturing our relationships, engaging in creative pursuits,
Yeah.
or simply allowing ourselves to be present and appreciate the beauty of the world around us.
So it's not necessarily about adding more things to our to-do lists,
Right.
but about recognizing and prioritizing the activities that already nourish our souls and make us feel alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it requires a certain level of self-awareness to identify those activities
Mhm.
and then to create the space in our lives to pursue them
Yeah.
in a world with fewer external demands on our time.
Right.
We might have a greater opportunity to truly align our lives with our deepest values and passions.
It's a beautiful vision, really. A
Yeah.
world where we have the freedom to pursue what truly matters to us,
Hmm.
both individually and collectively.
Right.
But I imagine it's not without its challenges.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that this newfound freedom doesn't lead to a sense of aimlessness or detachment from the world?
That's where the other rings come into play.
Okay.
Service to others, for example,
Hmm.
reminds us that meaning and purpose can also be found in contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Even in a world of abundance,
Right.
there will always be opportunities to make a positive impact on the lives of others
For sure.
and to work towards a more just and equitable society.
It speaks to that fundamental human need for connection and belonging,
Yeah,
for knowing that our actions have a ripple effect and can make a difference in the world.
absolutely.
And what about the pursuit of knowledge and understanding? How does that fit into this picture of a meaningful life in a technologically advanced future?
Well, imagine a world where access to information is virtually limitless.
Okay.
We could dedicate our time to learning about anything that sparks our curiosity,
Right.
from the depths of the ocean to the furthest reaches of space.
Yeah.
We could delve into history, philosophy, art, science,
Mhm.
anything that ignites our passion for understanding.
It's like we become lifelong learners,
Yeah.
constantly expanding our horizons and challenging ourselves to grow intellectually and creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And in a sense, this pursuit of knowledge becomes a journey of self-discovery,
Right.
a way of uncovering who we are and what we're capable of.
Exactly. And finally, there's that fifth ring.
Okay.
The possibility of discovering meaning from an external source.
Right.
It's perhaps the most mysterious and elusive of the rings,
Yeah.
but it also holds the greatest potential for transformation.
It's the idea that meaning might not be something we create or find,
Yeah.
but something that's revealed to us,
Right.
something that unfolds as we evolve and expand our consciousness.
Bostrom suggests that in a technologically advanced future,
Okay.
we might have the tools and resources to explore this realm of meaning in ways that are currently unavailable to us,
Right.
perhaps through advanced meditation techniques,
Mhm.
new forms of art and music,
Okay.
or even technologies that allow us to tap into deeper states of consciousness.
It's like we're opening ourselves up to the possibility
Yeah.
that the meaning of life might be something far grander and more profound than anything we can currently imagine.
And even if we don't find all the answers,
Mm-hmm.
the very act of seeking, of exploring these deeper questions about our existence,
Right.
it can be incredibly meaningful in itself.
Yeah.
It can lead to greater self-awareness,
Okay.
a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of life,
Mm.
and a sense of awe and wonder that enriches our experience of the world.
So Bostrom's lectures aren't just about predicting the future.
Yeah.
They're about empowering us to shape it,
Mm-hmm.
to approach the possibilities and challenges of a technologically advanced world with a sense of purpose,
Right.
curiosity, and a commitment to creating a future that's not really prosperous,
Yeah.
but also deeply meaningful.
He leaves us with a sense of hope and possibility,
Right.
reminding us that even in a world transformed by technology,
Yeah.
the most important questions are still the ones we ask ourselves about who we are,
Mm-hmm.
what we value,
Yeah.
and what kind of future we want to create.
It's a powerful message that resonates deeply,
It is.
especially in these times of rapid change and uncertainty.
Yeah.
Bostrom encourages us to embrace the unknown,
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate our own sense of meaning,
Right.
and to approach the future with a spirit of curiosity, compassion,
Yeah.
and a deep appreciation for the beauty and complexity of life.
And perhaps, in doing so,
Yeah.
we might discover that the meaning of life isn't something we find at the end of the journey,
Mm.
but rather something we create along the way.
Well, I think this deep dive has given us a lot to ponder, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Bostrom's exploration of these profound questions has certainly sparked my imagination.
Yeah. And challenged me to think differently about the future.
And I hope it's done the same for our listeners. If you're feeling inspired to explore these ideas further,
Yeah.
we encourage you to check out Nick Bostrom's lectures on Deep Utopia.
Definitely.
It's a journey worth taking, and who knows?
Yeah.
It might just change the way you view the world and your place within it.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been great having you.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep questioning,
Mm-hmm.
and keep seeking the meaning that makes life worth living.
And remember,
Yeah.
the future is not something that happens to us.
Right.
It's something we create together.
Right.